So, Michael, just come back from the Europeans.
Yeah.
Good competition. You had a good competition at the British. Tell us about your training in between. Tell us why you're on such a good run of form and how things are going. Just give us a general update up to the point we are now in the Commonwealth Games qualification period.
So where are we? Let's go back in time. So I came back from the British. I PB'd the British. I did 127, 154.
Yeah.
And they were, well, the best lifts of my life really. So I came off a real good spell of training. Thought it was great. And then I moved back home. I had a good settled routine. And we sat down and said, okay, now is an important training block. Let's try and hit something hard. Let's just do it. And ever since, it's been ridiculous. I've never trained so heavy with the most volume, most intensity. It's been tremendous, really.
So do you think it's being settled and then combining being settled with just a hard block of training? So the right training at the right time, basically.
Well, previous to this, I was a remote athlete, so it was a difficult balance to push training, hold back training, because it was often up to myself to do that. And it's great to have the autonomy of being this remote athlete and learn how to be an athlete away at uni. But in the case of being an athlete, to be a semi-professional athlete who one goes to the Commonwealth Games, you need to take that away from you. You need your coach. You need to think about as least as possible. I think that's what's been the biggest thing. I've come home, I've come training, and we've pushed sessions, we've held back on sessions, and I'm not making these decisions anymore. My coach is making these decisions. And as well as that, I'm working now, and I'm not thinking about weightlifting all day. Whereas before I was thinking about training all day instead of uni, and it got into a negative mindset. But ever since, it's been positive, because I'm not thinking about weightlifting until 4 o'clock, and then I'm loving coming to the gym again. And I think that's been a bigger change as well. I'm enjoying my training, I'm enjoying the people, the atmosphere, and it's an event to come and train every night. And that's why I come here at 4 and I don't leave till 9 p.m. at night.
Work's a bit of a sort of strong statement. It's not really work, is it?
Well,
I'm only joking.
Would you like to do it, mate?
No, it's all right. I'll leave you to it. So you come back from the British.
Yeah.
Obviously, confidence is a big thing, because when you have one good competition breeds another good competition. What's different about your snatch? Because you haven't missed a snatch in 3 competitions, I think. Is that right?
3 of them, 3 of the bounce, 3 for free, 3 for free, 3 for free. Yes, good question. Like, I'm a longer limbed person. I'm not tall, but I should be a snatcher. Strange, really. I don't feel like I'm gonna miss a snatch ever on a platform. And I remember the Europeans now. I 31. I remember walking up to the platform thinking, I've done 2 in a row. I'm not gonna miss this. There is no possible outcome I've considered that I'm gonna miss. Like, I sat on the floor and I just say yes straight away. Yeah. And it's there. And I do think the sky's the limit now. And if you say to me, you're going to snatch 140 at the games, it's like, look, yes, it'll happen. Yeah. And now I have this belief that 40-70 are within my realm in 9 months' time. And the evidence is there to provide that. And obviously 40-70, that'll win. Yeah. And I'm convinced I'll medal. And now it's like, okay, now we can shift our mindset to we could win 310. 310 could win.
So your clean and jerk obviously wasn't as good as your snatch, but I don't think it's fair to say it was a shit show, because it was a PB still.
Yeah.
What's good about your clean and jerk? Obviously a PB is a PB, but what needs improving in your mind before you can put it all together? There's a good video of you nearly killing yourself online.
Yeah, that's a good one. I didn't realise I slipped, and I think that's what probably cocked the jerk.
Yeah. But
it's a strange one, because I opened on a PB clean and jerk, which not many people got the bollocks to do. But like 2 weeks before I went for 160, I cleaned 160 in the gym, and like that was a big PB. So it's almost like you can't be too disappointed in missing a 160 on the platform when I've only just cleaned it, and it was bloody close, the jerk as well. But we're addressing that this block of training. It's almost like the snatch will take care of itself. It won't, but we still got to work it obviously. But I think the snatch will just continue to rise, and I don't think 31's my limit. I think I'm probably, a true reflection is probably 33, 34. But the clean and jerk, we're going to work on that. We're going to work on bracing more so. But it's like I haven't ever put anything on the bar probably in 2 years where I've missed because it's too heavy. And it's funny because I've never done a clean pull above 150 before, and now I'm clean jerking 160 basically. So now we'd add in some different variations. It'd be quite exciting to see where we can go from there.
And what's your I mean, you sort of already talked about it, but what's your aspiration now? Because you have been selected for the Commonwealth Championships, right?
Provisionally, but that's just based on admin. But yes.
So you're going to the Commonwealth Champs in Uzbekistan. I can't remember when that is. It's like
December.
7-8 weeks, something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. What's your ambition for that competition?
So, last Commonwealth Champs I went to, I got a silver as a junior, and I came fourth as a senior. It'd be good to medal as a senior, and to size up sort of the opposition I'll be up against the games. Don't know who's going to turn up, obviously. But in my head, I want to go and whatever my last lifts were in Finland, I want to make them my second attempts, and then just put something else on for my third. So I think if I can take 31 and 60 as my second attempts, that opens the door to 33, 34, and opens the door to sort of 63.
Yeah.
And then we're knocking on the door of sort of 290 to 300. And like, we're convinced that 300 will be enough to medal at the games.
Yeah.
At 73. So it's all moving in the right direction. And then bigger picture, we got British in January or February, whenever it is. I think we'll consolidate 300 then, and then we'll creep towards 310. I think that's the only mindset you can have.
Do you have is there any sort of thought in your mind about, obviously Wales have got a top 6 selection policy. Is there anything in your mind about sort of where you think that mark will be, roughly? Because it's very hard to tell. Top 6 could be anything. You never know what year you're going to get.
Yeah, it could be 200 kilos. You don't know.
Yeah.
I think, say this to me a year ago, I'd be quite concerned about top 6. It's like, oh, bloody, it's such a difference between top 15 where a lot of people went last time, and it's going to be a very tight core group, and you don't know what sort of total it's going to be. We always thought 290 would get us to the games. I remember at the British unis where I power cleaned once, I wrote on my shoes 290 because we said years ago that 290 will get us to the games, and now it's like I tried 290 on the platform on 291.
Yeah. So
we're ready for the games. I'm ready to go to the Commonwealth Games. It's the time. It's the right time.
Yeah. And let's just like put your get your crystal ball out now. It's hard to answer, but let's just say everything goes well. Uzbekistan, I spoke to Justin this morning. He said Uzbekistan's more of a priority comp than the British.
Yeah.
And that the British is more, it's just a backup. It's there if it needs to be, and if it's not, then it's just more competition platform time.
Yeah.
Shot at a British title, which is always a good thing.
That's cool. Yeah.
What do you think you'll do differently next year? For example, will you still, let's just assume you qualify for the games, or you've done all you can, you've done your best. Are you going to do anything differently next year? Like, are you going to work still? Are you going to try and go part-time? Or are you just going to repeat what you've done this year?
I have thought about this, actually. I'm just going to continue. I think I got very good terms. Work have been really handy to me. They've allowed me to come home so I can train for the games. I can work from home. I'm not travelling the country every day. And I actually prefer not thinking about weightlifting all day.
Yeah.
Like I said before, you come in a toxic mindset then of, I've got to hit this tonight, got to do that, and then you come in, you have a bad session, it's ruined your whole day, and it's just not a great place to be. And like, we're not professionals, we're not professional athletes, so why am I stressing about weightlifting? Weightlifting's a hobby for me. Yeah. It's a hobby for everyone because we're not getting paid for it. So why are we stressing out all day? It should be fun. And the times when, in the past, I thought it's not fun, I haven't trained as well. But now I've come to the gym and it's a fun event to do. So before the games, I just want to really enjoy myself, enjoy the process, enjoy the thought of hoping to medal.
Yeah. How long have you had that thought of like wanting to enjoy it? Because I think that people lift better when they're having fun, accidentally almost, and they start to chill out a bit. When did you realise that you were taking it maybe a bit seriously?
That's a good question. Probably, I've gone to a few internationals now, and the ones I've done better at, I've had a bloody good time at. Now, obviously, it comes hand in hand. Go on, Spence. Sort of doing well, enjoying yourself, not doing well, not enjoying yourself. But trying to think back, like Romania, I didn't do very well. I went for 2 for 6. And I was really hung up and stressed about having the GB vest on. I felt a lot of pressure. Whereas on the flip side now, I went to Finland and I had a bloody great time with everyone. And I was so chilled out. There was other elements in the group where they were stressing out and maybe they didn't do as well. But that's the most relaxed I've ever been at a competition because, again, it's not my job. Like, work is work. That's the daytime. And then nighttime is just time to enjoy yourself.
This might seem like a weird question, but the 73 kilo class in Britain is arguably, I think, one of the busiest. Some people might disagree, but it's in the top 3 busiest categories for men. Do you bother looking at your rivals or watching them, or do you care? I know that because like your rivals are mainly English, really, and for the Commonwealth Games that doesn't affect anything. But do you think about them in terms of the long term? Because like obviously you've got ambitions of going to Europeans and World Championships. So do you think about them or think about your position within Britain as much? And
again, I feel like my mindset I used to think, oh, I've got to be the best in Britain. I've got these people to compete with. I've got to do better than them. But like you go to other internationals and you go to a Europeans, often you're never going to be close to the medals. So you've got to stay in your own lane, do your own goals, and achieve what you want to achieve in that comp. And the moment that you get hung up on someone else who's better than you, then I think that's a bloody toxic place to be in, and you won't lift as well. Now I went to the British, and we didn't want to compete. The objective was to hit our total to go to Uzbekistan, and that's what I did. I didn't play any games, didn't kilo anyone, I didn't try to beat anyone. I just stayed in my own lane. Now, because I'm thinking about getting to 300 and 300 plus, that will obviously sort of go European seniors, sort of world champ sort of realm. And I've got to think about beating people, but the weight will take care of itself. If anything, it'd be nice to go to a weightlifting competition and do weightlifting. Like, it's been years since I've done weightlifting. I think I said this to Big Dave out in Finland, I've done weightlifting twice in my life.
So, as in, you don't like chasing a total, you much prefer going out and
competing. Yeah, and it's very rare that you can go to a competition where you can do weightlifting. Like I went to Samoa and I put a kilo on the boy to win. That's weightlifting. Yeah. But I go to a British and, well, now it's actually a good thing because I can do some weightlifting because there's people lifting the same sort of weights as me. Whereas always in the past, we've been 20 kilos ahead of anyone, and it's a bit crap, really, isn't it?
But qualification periods are strange in the respect that everyone's got their own goal and everyone has their own selection procedures to handle.